Welcome back. We're still with the Director General of the National Identity Management Commission, Barrister Chris Oyemenam. We're still talking about the biometric data. Thanks for joining us once again.
Thank you.
How much collaboration, cooperation, if you like, do you get from states on this issue?
We have signed an agreement with Ekiti State, and the idea is to enable them partner with us to capture data on the basis that I've mentioned earlier, that are compatible and that can be used for national identity database population, as well as enable them create, leverage on our own expertise, experience, and presence to create their own database for some of the various social programs that the government had announced. And to that extent, I would say, yes, it's slow, it's growing. But let me take the example of Kaduna State, where His Excellency Governor Nasir El-Rufai directed the civil servants to go and ensure that they obtain their national identification number whilst they were being registered for purposes of ensuring that there are no ghost workers. You see, immediately, two objectives are being achieved at the same time. Number one, who you are. Number two, you are a civil servant. That's the occupational identity, if you like. And this is going to be extended shortly because of the relationship we have with the Federal Ministry of Agriculture. And so Kaduna State is one of the states that would be covered in this first phase of the farmers' database build-up. And you would discover that as we go on, when we bring in the National Health Insurance data collection as well under our umbrella and within the harmonization loop, that Kaduna State will then have all the data that they need for children. I mean, NHIS is covering children, adults, and what have you, civil servants, and other people, aside from the farmers, that we are covering. Now, this is the model of partnership that will play out in Ekiti State, and is also going to play out in Delta State. So they are supporting us by ensuring that what we are not able to provide to reach the hinterlands, to reach the rural people, to some extent, they can complement our effort.
Well, how much loss or damage do you think the country has suffered owing to a lack of a national biometric database over the years?
Well, from a financial point of view, I think we've spent quite a lot. The duplication of efforts isn't helping anyone, not National Identity Management Commission and not most of the agencies, even the ones that are working on resident card in some of the states, because it amounts to some significant level of duplication. So financially, and if you look at it against the background of how we have fared in terms of the price of crude oil, how we have fared in terms of our inability to expeditiously diversify our economy, and so scarce resources are being depleted in the wrong direction. It is avoidable. Now, the second one is that there are issues that in Europe and America already decided and are no longer factors in determining the pace in terms of development or outcomes in terms of investments in the developmental effort, but are still with us here. A typical example is the biometric database that we try to keep here and there. It behoves on us as a society, as a nation, to try and address it, because if you do not have a biometric linked database that is unique, it means you do not have a universal or a unique identification scheme. If you do not have a unique identification scheme, it means you do not know who is who. If you do not know who is who, it then becomes difficult for you to determine eligibility or benefit status. So people will always take advantage of that. They commit crime because they know it's easy to to deny your identity under certain circumstances. You go and you are entitled to you are not entitled to a driver's license, but you are able to tell a lie that you are 18 years old, you swear to an affidavit, and as cheap as that, and you get away with it. You are not entitled to enter the university, even though you are a whiz kid, you are not 16 years old, you tell a lie, and you are able to get through. So it becomes easy for an individual to claim who he is not, because there is no central biometric linked database that can be cross-referenced each time you claim an identity.
There's a lot of anticipation from the national biometric database right now from Nigerians. How is this really going to combat corruption? Are you positive about it?
If you do not know individuals and they can take up certain roles or different roles at different times, everything else is possible, including getting away with murder. And that is where the biometric database is going to be extremely useful in ensuring that the work of the law enforcement agencies, and that includes those of our brothers and sisters who are working on the corruption thing, it's going to create a significant impact, in the sense that you cannot then open bank accounts in the names of dead people. You cannot then claim to be who you are not, because there is a database and there is a way to reference it. Today, and I stand to be corrected, when you go to the airport to board a flight, they ask for your photo ID. At times we'll bring a staff ID. At times we'll bring a company ID, even our complimentary card. That's the greatest risk to ourselves, okay? The reason being that a roadside business center, a cyber cafe, all these things can be gotten. And so you come and the person does a visual comparison with no idea of how to ascertain the genuineness of the card. And he says, go on board, right? That's wrong. So very soon, with the cooperation of the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria, the agency in charge of security at the airports, we would be deploying this verification tool. Then it becomes a lot easier for you to ask for the national identification number or for the card. And it's going to be the same in the bank.
Well, thank you very much, Barrister Chris Oyemenam. Thank you for your thoughts on Dateline Abuja.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for your mails as always. Please keep your views and comments coming using the address and Twitter handle on your screen. And you can also let us know anything happening within your locality, especially if you're in the nation's capital. And don't forget, you can view the program on youtube.com/channelsweb/videos. Make your comments after viewing the current video as well as older episodes of the program. And don't forget to include your name and where you're writing from. Thank you for watching this week. I'm Gloria Umezuke. See you again.